New tonight, the coronavirus mortality rate is higher than originally thought. The World Health Organization now says 3.4% of cases have died.
The World Health Organization has now confirmed that the mortality rate due to coronavirus is at 3.4%. The earlier estimates were projecting the death rate at just about 2%.
Globally, about 3.4% of reported COVID-19 cases have died.
The WHO reported the disease's global mortality rate as 3.4%.
President Trump phoned into his favorite channel and said this about the latest estimate of the novel coronavirus fatality rate, 3.4%.
I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch.
The WHO reporting yesterday that globally about 3.4% of reported coronavirus cases have died.
Personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
President Trump, who frequently questions the scientific and medical communities, says he's going off his hunch.
Yes, good news. Trump has a hunch that coronavirus is not as deadly as people think. In fact, he personally has a feeling that the death rate is lower than 1%. What the is that?
Oh, my God. A false number. That's what President Trump called the World Health Organization's latest global death rate of the coronavirus. He also talked about having a hunch about what he thinks is going on.
Instead of the scientific numbers from the World Health Organization, he has a hunch.
So last night, Donald Trump went on Fox News to lie about everything. Specifically, he lied about the most recent World Health Organization estimate that the global death rate of coronavirus is 3.4%. He disagreed.
I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch.
Totally reckless. It's not a time for Donald Trump's hunches. It's a time for science. It's a time for doctors. It's not a time for Donald Trump to be calling into cable shows and riffing on things he doesn't know anything about. It's a time for the CDC. It's a time for the World Health Organization to be front and center, explaining to the country what this is, how this pandemic is taking hold, and what Americans should do about it.
The death rate has been up to 3.4% by the WHO. And Donald Trump is simply denying that this is the death rate because he has a hunch, and he's suggesting people take it easy and not really worry too much about it.
Well, then, as it is now, it appears President Trump himself is the main one spreading disinformation, completely contradicting the information and the data put out by public health experts.
Tell the country not what the scientists are telling us, but rather what he's personally feeling about it right now. And we really would have been better off with a monkey president. We would have. Who cares what the immunologists say? Donald Trump has a hunch.
The president disputing the 3.4% data-driven assessment of the overall coronavirus death rate, saying it's a false number, offering no evidence to back it up, only saying it's a hunch.
And back to our primary topic, I know I don't want to be listening to Donald Trump for the advice. The president and the vice president can't be listened to. They don't know what they're talking about.
The World Health Organization said Tuesday the global death rate from the disease caused by the new coronavirus is 3.4%, far deadlier than the seasonal flu. But on Wednesday night, President Trump said he had a hunch the number was actually much lower.
He lies about everything, whether it's debt and deficit, crowd sizes, whatever. That stuff doesn't have life or death consequences. When he lies about death rates and basic science, the repercussions can actually be life or death.
Based on known cases, the World Health Organization reported about 3.4% of people with the virus have died, but the latest CDC estimate is about 10 times less than that.
The experts were expecting it to be much greater.
For people aged 1 year to 69 years, the survival rate post-infection with COVID is over 99%. For young people under the age of 20, the survival rate, this is from the CDC, is 99.997%.
Personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
This isn't the art of the deal. You can't negotiate with science. You're saying I have 6 to 8 weeks to live? Okay. How about 10 to 12, all right?
Donald Trump, who is, I don't know if you noticed this, occasionally criticized by members of the media. It's true. Is getting headlines like this. Trump has a hunch. Hunch. WHO report of 3.4% coronavirus death rate is false. A hunch? Oh, geez. Another Trump conspiracy theory? Aaron Rupar from Vox, called it astoundingly irresponsible. Brian Stelter of CNN wrote, I hesitate to even print the United States president's words here because they're so at odds with what health experts are saying.
The CDC has revised their mortality rate on COVID-19 from about 3 or 4%-ish. Now they've revised that from 3 or 4% to 0.4%.
Well, I think the 3.4% is really a false number. Now, this is just my hunch.
Is that the estimates hover around less than 1% of 0.6%. And there are a couple of studies that are out that have estimated this 0.6%.
Is there any danger, or do you think that once you've told 16,000 lies, people sort of take it with a little grain of salt? Is there danger in Donald Trump going on Fox News and telling that network's viewers that, you can go to work, I don't believe the WHO, I disagree with Tony Fauci on vaccines? I mean, is it dangerous to have conflicting messages out there around a potential global pandemic?
Well, it's certainly not helpful.
Personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
At this point, is that the actual mortality rate is going to be substantially lower, probably less than 1%.
Now, this is just my hunch. Personally, I would say the number is way under 1%.
Trump, he takes this demeanor where it's crazy to listen to anyone other than him. And obviously he knows what's going on, and it's flatly dangerous. Donald Trump is just lying erratically and desperately.
Like, very much known, Trump was completely right on this. All of his experts were saying it too, by the way.
Philip Bump of the Washington Post wrote that Trump twice admits that he's simply making up the percentage he's talking about, calling it a hunch and saying that it is his personal assessment. Did he, Philip? I mean, really? Is that what he just said? Was he making it up? Did he say it was just his personal assessment? Or did he say that his opinion was, quote, based on a lot of conversations with a lot of people that do this?
But based on a lot of conversations with a lot of people that do this, because a lot of people will have this, and it's very mild.
I have a nice high IQ. They like that, We like high IQ people. But they know I make good decisions. That's why we have that. Trump was right about everything, right?